We're all going on a summer Yay! Food's ready! McBacon, Nether Oz, picnic time!
I'm stuck. Oz, help me. I'm stuck in the blowhole.
Stop messing around, your food's getting cold.
I'm serious. I'm stuck. Get me out.
Well, I have been developing a redstone and...
No redstone. Just break the blocks.
Break the blocks? That's a historical landmark. Plus, I just built it. Okay, McBacon has a redstone contraption that will free you for sure.
Well, she is much smarter than you. All right, but no TNT.
Understood. Are you sure this isn't too much TNT?
Did you say TNT?
No, I said comparator, jeez.
What? Blatantly did not.
How do we stop it from blowing up the whale, though? Put water beside it. Sorry, man. I can be so stupid. There we are. Sorted. And 5, 4, ready, steady, go!
I hate you guys!
I guess he'll land when he's ready. Awesome fun! What is up, dudes, dudettes, and dudes who defy description? Welcome to another episode of Awesome Fun in Minecraft with me, Oz. I've just had a lovely night's sleep here in our brand new motel on Route 66. And I've still got the roadside attraction bug. So in this episode, we're going to be adding something new. If you've seen the description, and I think most of you had, you have a clue what we're up to. But to get a clue on where to begin, let's start by getting airborne. If we take a look at our Route 66, we've got our Ecto 1, and coming down here we've got our brand new Wigwam Motel. But once we get down to this section here, the road just kind of comes to a dead end here before we reach the Fortnite agency through the trees over here. So what I'm thinking is we need something to link this together, some kind of bridge, but rather than a standard bridge, I have found something really cool that is one of the most recognizable roadside attractions on Route 66, and that is the Blue Whale of Catoosa, located in Catoosa, Oklahoma. And it's just this kind of giant blue whale. It was built by a guy in the 1970s for his wife who collected whale figurines. She loved whales, so he built her this terrifying thing that's both a mixture of cute and creepy. That was like, I guess it was for swimming. I think it has like slides on it, but that's what we're going to build today. And there's no real other way to get around this build than just getting stuck in to the whale in the room. So let's hit fast forward and introduce ourselves to the big blue whale of Catoosa. Let's go. This thing is definitely super... Well, I think I've captured that balance between it being cute and kind of creepy, as the real one appears to be in images. But it's awesome. It's super... It works as a build. I don't know why it's wearing a baseball hat. In the pictures, it's wearing a baseball hat with a C on it. I assume the C stands for Catoosa. So we have captured that. Actually looks pretty funky when you look at here. Kind of looks like a dragon, actually, when you have a look at it from that side too. So let's have a look at some of the features. We're obviously going to do a lot of terrain work here, but we'll talk about that in a second. So when you come inside here, we've got some lighting hidden in the floor. Probably need to add a little bit more, but you're actually able to come up and actually go around inside and like peek out the hole. You can see the oceanic aquarium there. You can see this pop out these holes. Hello. Can even come down to the front of here and check out the nostrils. And there is in fact a blowhole that you can climb out of and clamber around on top if you want to have a look at the baseball hat up close and in person. And if we head back inside, you can cruise through it. The original one, as I mentioned, it was in a kind of pond, but this one is acting more as a bridge. You can even actually, by using these trapdoors, get yourself down in order to go down the the water slide. And then you can swim across here, climb up onto the side from the ladders in the base section here and come through. Now, we do, of course, need to, work this in with the terrain here, and this gives us a rare chance to have a look inside all the terraforming that happened inside the agency island, because this island didn't exist until the agency build came along. So what do we need to do here? Well, of course, we need to tidy up this terrain here. We need to work our way across here, get ourselves a path, a lot of terrain work here, connect ourselves up to the edge of Route 66, add ourselves in a lot of parking spaces, a little shack, lots of cool things. So let's jump into our next terraforming-y build. Let's go. There's nothing quite like a blank canvas to get you inspired and feeling good about a build. So, still need to sort out a few things like this flying lamppost. We brought this down to nice levels. So the idea here, let me walk you through it. Put on your imagination hats and let's go. So the idea here is the road curves round and then ends, and it comes here into a kind of dirty, and we'll obviously vary up the texture here, sort of rough car park area where vehicles can park. And then what we want to get is a sort of nice archway. Now we might need to change the terrain a bit here because we want the archway to be something like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. Let's see, something obviously very rough. But yeah, we want it to perfectly frame. You see how in the photograph I've seen in real life, the whale is perfectly framed by the gate. So we want a gate that works perfectly framing it, a nice path that leads you down to it. Then on the edge here, we're going to have some sort of picnicking areas and sort of barbecue area, I think, here as well. We're going to have a little shack, maybe where you can grab some fishing gear and other things you might need for using around the area. And that should be looking good. So I think our first plan is to work on this gate, because I think it feels like it's going to dictate how the car park's going to need to be changed, any more terraforming we need to do, and sort of how we're going to plan out these areas. So time to get gate planning. And give me an E, and what do we get? Welcome to the Blue Whale of Catoosa. Oh man, it's so cute. Look at the cute whales. Look at them. They are just the cutest. With the Route 66 sign, real nice. And then of course you got welcome on this side, and what else on the other side but goodbye for when you are departing. Now I did end up actually having to pull the road much further back than it was before, just to give us the proper space for this area. So now we're going to, obviously when we do terrain, we're going to build up this area here with a nice barrier of trees and things like that to block it off, make the bizarre curving of the road now make a bit more sense. Then of course we'll have to add a couple of vehicles into our car park area. We might fence it off, I'll wait and see. But most importantly, we have our welcome gate, which is the sort of central part here. And we've got the terrain we need that leads us down to the big blue whale itself, and gives us an idea of where we might want to put the shack, say somewhere about over here, maybe around about here. Then the picnic benches and other things here, so you can kind of enjoy a good angle on the whale too. And then, of course, we'll need to tidy all the pathways and things down here. And most importantly of all, because this is now even worse, I started to tidy this up a little bit, and then look who creeped up on me. I think who spawned in the darkness underneath the tree there when I was flying back to sleep for the evening, and I got blowed up. Not so good. So we need to sort this out and actually make this pathway make a little bit more sense as well. So I say the next thing to get on with, as well as sleeping and looking out for the creeps, is to add the shack. The love shack. Well, don't know if it's a love shack, but if you love it, it's always a love shack. Oh yeah. Ow. All right, this place is coming together wicked. These are really cute. These two new little benches or picnic bench areas that we've got in here. We've got a little one over here, and we of course have got our new gift shop, sort of attendant area for you to go into. So let's have a look up close at these ones. Oh, yeah. So let me show you the gift shop area first. This is kind of like a shack. Now, the actual one, the kind of shack goes all the way along, and then for some reason has like a different roof on top of the actual roof at the end. I decided to make it a sort of separate area. Right now, I've got these fellas in here, just because they happened along. Then we've got this little shack here, the little donation box in there, a nice clock, little trash can and bell, and this is the first time that I've ever basically captured some of these guys. They're called Mrs. Temp because they've got temp tags right now. Captured some of these fellas and managed to break their crossbows. But I thought when they did that, normally they have their hands down, but they have their hands up like zombies, and it's kind of weird. Then we've got a couple of things at the back there in the snack bar, so you can like hire fishing gear or sand castle gear, I guess. Buy drinks, get some food. Very nice. Got a kitty here as well. This is not my cat, but it is a cat. So we've got that nice little bench here. Then these picnic areas are super cool. If you've not seen this before, I'm sure you maybe have, you can waterlog a slab so that you can then put coral on top of it and it won't die. You can do that, I guess, with stairs as well. So that's pretty cool. And the actual ones, I think, are shaped like fish there. So we've got still got the sea aquatic theme, a blue and a white one as well. So this is quite nice. Sit and have your food while you're looking at the blue whale. Very nice. Then over here, we've got this little bench that you can sit on as well here. And this fence that runs along up here. Got a nice little open gate here, because I suppose it's always really going to be open. And a nice fence here to keep out the trouble. So this is looking really, really nice here. I'm really loving these little additions. And I think what we need to do now is frame it and set it all off with some nice terraforming. Now, to show you what I mean, here is the first type of tree that we're going to have. So this is quite a big, chunky tree that I've built here. This is probably my favorite angle on it. This wasn't in the time-lapse, by the way, in case you're thinking, how did I miss that in the time-lapse? It wasn't there. That's so you didn't miss it. I built this after. This is my favorite angle on it. Really great. And then, of course, because we have to be honest about all sides, this side, not, yeah, it's okay. It has the lean, but it's a bit meh on this side. But you can see the idea that we're going for here is that the trees here, and we should have maybe another, probably just one or maybe two small ones on this little island bit, should block out the view. So you're coming, as you're driving around here, you can't see the agency and the welcome thing, and then you come around here, and we'll put in another big tree here, another smaller one here, and then maybe a tree over here as well. So it'll block out all of the view of everything except welcome, and you'll see some stuff through it. Then in the car park, obviously again, this will be nice and enclosed. We'll build a little kind of mini barrier, I think, here, so you could stand and look out, because it's quite a nice view here, standing and looking out. And then you'll come down into this area here, and then we'll probably maybe put another tree over on here just to frame this in and maybe block out the helicopter a bit, stop it from distracting so much from the build. No other real trees in this main area here. Then I think what we'll need to do is have a hedge that kind of goes from here, comes around, maybe stops around about here, just to block this area off and make it sort of feel nice and enclosed. Maybe actually the hedge should come down here a little bit, or there should be a little tree here, something here, and that'll be really nice. Yeah, we'll maybe need to touch up the water a little bit, and then of course add some lighting into the ground, add some stone, other stuff into this pathway, make it a bit secure. But oh man, this is going to be a really beautiful build. It is so welcoming. I love it. Isn't it great? Do you love it, guys? Thought so. Our build is nice and finished. I've hopped on Purple Rain so that we can get the full experience of arriving on Route 66 at our new location. Because of course, the big blue whale was the main thing we were building, but we're going for a full experience here, a sort of immersive build. Everything's been considered. So as you come down the road here, we've got this beautiful, big, new sprawling tree here, these awesome bushes in the middle as well, and this cool tree. I love the shape of it. It's got a really low profile. I was trying not to make it too high and kind of stretch it out a bit. And why is glass panes singular straight coming down work so well on trees? I don't know, but it does. So this creates a really nice break between this part of the road and the car park as well, so we can still see the helicopter through there, which actually is framed quite nicely there, but it kind of encloses that area. So as we come round, we've even extended the lights here so that they come right, calm down, so that we come right round here into the car park. So we've got this all nice and lit up. We've added some vehicles. In fact, now we're here, why don't we pop you, Purple Rain? You can be connected up, shall we say, over here. Just keep you out of trouble. So we've added 2 vehicles. We've added Mr. Bean's Mini. I'll put a link on to that build before, without Mr. Bean sitting on a chair on the top of it, just a regular British style Mini. I've also gone here, this is a bit of a weird build. You have to use your imagination a little bit. But I used to love this TV show called The Chuckle Brothers. It was a kind of comedy show about these kind of 2 slapstick brothers that used to fool around. And they used to cycle on this thing. You used to get these kind of, like, I don't know, beach and pier, kind of end of the pier attractions and stuff like that in the UK, particularly in England. And they're like red and white bicycles, but they're cars, so you can sit in them, and like 3-4 of you, whatever, can pedal, and you pedal along. And so this is like a bicycle car sort of thing here. So these are for our visitors who've arrived to check out the attraction, and we've got a space here for another one. They can come in too. So our sign here says Route 66 roadside attraction, based on the actual one, with a bit of information. Build inspired by Blue Whale of Catoosa, Oklahoma, built in the early 1970s as an anniversary gift, turned into a swimming park, and closed in 1988. So a bit of info on what inspired our build. Another nice tree here, leaning out over the edge. And this tree here, I went for a little bit of an apple tree. So this is invisible armor stands and invisible item frames as well, just to give us a kind of apple falling, ripe apples sensation. And look at this tree. Isn't this one a beauty? Hey, Big Bacon. Isn't this one a... Oh, just sometimes... I don't know. I always think that you don't really know what a tree's going to be like until you actually build it. And this one, from this angle, it's a real beauty. It's got some real personality. I must have built like 100,000 trees in this world. But now we've got our lovely fence here, our excellent path that takes us in to the blue whale itself. We added in this lovely hanging tree. I think it works sort of from some angles. It's not quite what I imagined it as a sort of angular leaning tree, but it works and it fills in that space that we're looking for there. We've got the blue whale, of course. You saw that earlier. Not much change on that, except for over here where we've nicely tidied up the Fortnite agency pathway. So you can now follow the pathway either this way into here. I've also lit this up a little bit so that hopefully creepers won't be waiting for you when you cross, or you could come down this way along the beach front and head towards the little boating shed there. So that's a nice addition. Inside the water, I've added in quite a lot of sea pickles and a little bit of kind of coral things to give us some color. I've also roughened up the edge here of the Fortnite agency, because if we take a look, it was so much to do, and the build was so hard that I never actually did much with it. But you can see underneath here, there's not much. It just goes straight to the ground, basically. So what I've done underneath here, thank you, Mr. Dolphin, is roughened up and added in lots of our beautiful kelpie and other stuff, just to make this nice and neat. Then our character we've got over here, we've got a tropical fish, who is a fisherman who's caught himself. So he's like cannibal fisherman, I guess, that we've got here, doing a bit of fishing. Then if we hop up to our picnic area, you can see, and let's see if they're doing it now. Yeah. So remember I said earlier that they had their arms sticking up. That's only when you're near them. When you're far away like this, they're just standing like at attention. But once I get closer, see, there they go. They pop their zombie hands up. They have names now. Hold me. And I need a hug. Their arms did inspire that name. And here are our last characters. We've got this little family of rabbits. I like a mom and dad rabbit and 2 kids. This one's fooling around. This one's being good. And the person's like, oh, I can't believe face palming at the horribleness or misbehaviorness of their kid. Well, this father rabbit's like telling you to behave. So a little bit of personality there. Because as you know, I do love to bring a build to life. Oh. That was left over from earlier. Netheroz was freed from his imprisonment. So this place is completely finished now, completely brought to life. I think the only other little bit I added in was this hedge here, just to seal once and for all, and enclose this area off nicely. But this is beautiful, and I've loved this build. It feels like the whale was the main thing that we were going for, but it feels like it's ended up being the smallest part of the build. And I've really gone for this whole experience, or this feeling of really terraforming a whole area to really control what kind of experience you have, the views, the sight lines, this total thought in a build, more than just what the build is itself, but everything that goes around it has been a great experience. It really has. And I really hope that you've enjoyed watching this today. As always, of course, if there's anything you would like to ask about, any questions about the builds or pictures you'd like to see if you're going to build it yourself, by all means, get in touch using the comments or everything below. But that's the end of our episode for today. And this end of Route 66 is looking pretty done. But I'll see you next time for more awesome fun in Minecraft. I'm stuck under the table. Help.
Oz? Oz?
Uh-oh.
I have been rowing for 30 minutes.
Well, I guess that's your cardio done for the day?
Oh, yes, very funny, very funny. And where is that pig friend of yours?
Oh, McBaconham? I don't know.
She has a lot of explaining to do.
Well, I told you that we were going to get you free from the blowhole. I mean, why did you get yourself stuck in a blowhole anyway? Blowhole.
I'll blowhole you.